Hi, it's Michael, clinical psychologist at Grove Psychology. Today I want to talk a little bit about the difference between focusing on the process versus focusing on the results. And what I mean by that is often I'll see clients presenting in my office who are feeling very, very stressed at work or in their activities because they're overly focused on the outcome of what they need to achieve. So a really good example might be someone working in sales, for example. They've been set a target, or they've set themselves a target to achieve, X amount of sales or X amount of dollars, those sorts of things. And they can experience either really, really high emotions when they achieve that, so high positive emotions, or really, really low negative emotions when they don't achieve it. And there's a difficulty to this. Sometimes when things are going really, really well, it's great. You can focus on the outcome. But when things don't start to go well, that's when we see problems, particularly if they're aligned with deep core beliefs that we might have about ourselves around, for example, not being good enough. And we might experience feelings of shame. And that will lead to behaviours such as procrastination and avoidance, or the opposite, overcompensating, and running ourselves into the ground. We start to burn out and not enjoy what we're doing. So the other option is to focus on the process or the journey. The results is the destination, the process is the journey. And that means, what is it that I need to do that's going to help me to more likely succeed in the outcome that I want to get? But I'm not focusing solely on the outcome. So we're not giving it up. We want to achieve a certain amount, but we're focusing on the process that needs to go and be involved. So, for example, in that sales scenario, that might be every day I need to do a certain amount of phone calls and a certain amount of follow-ups of people I've spoken to before. And if I can do that, then I'm putting myself in a better position to be able to get a sale. When we're in that avoidance stage, we're less likely to make those phone calls because we're getting concerned that we're not going to meet our deadline, and we're avoiding the negative feelings that comes with that. So if I make a phone call and the person doesn't want to buy what I'm selling, I'm going to feel more down in the dumps because I'm not achieving it. And again, if it's particularly aligned with our negative core belief, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthwhile, I've got feelings of shame, I'm more likely then to reinforce that when I hear that somebody doesn't want to buy what I'm selling because I'm not going to meet the deadline. Now, there's another factor that goes into that, which is the outcome realistic? So it might be that I've set my desired outcome too high because I'm trying to overcompensate for feelings of low self-worth, my core belief of not being good enough. And so rather than focusing on the process and I'm doing well and I'm meeting my targets, I might be setting an unrealistic target over and above. So the target might be make 8 sales, but I might say to myself, I'm only good if I've sold 10, for example, right? So if that's my target and I hit 8, then I'm going to be like, oh well, anybody can do that. And if I hit 7, disaster. So are we being realistic in what we're setting? There's a couple of ways that can help us, and the main one that I like to talk to my clients about is the 8 out of 10 day. So often if we have core beliefs around not being good enough, not worthwhile, we set out very, very high standards to overcompensate that, which is okay if we're meeting it, but like I said, can lead to high expressed emotions, burnout. That's a 10 out of 10 day. If everything goes right and we achieve everything, we make our sales, for example, and we're having a 10 out of 10 day. But we can't sustain a 10 out of 10 day every day, right? It's not possible. Things go wrong. So I ask my clients, well, what would a 10 out of 10 day look like? And let's strip it back a little bit and say, what would an 8 out of 10 day look like? Still very high performing. We're not lowering our standards, but we're giving ourselves a little bit of room here. That if I hit an 8 out of 10 day, I'm probably going to hit the targets that I need to be hitting. Right? That allows me to have a really good day, a 9 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10. Also allows that if things go wrong, I've got a 7 or a 6 but I'm mostly going to hit 8 because that's achievable. It also allows me to focus on what are the processes that are involved that allow me to hit this 8 out of 10 day. So it might be when I get into the office, I make sure I open up my diary and I go through the people that I need to call from the day before, as a really easy example that everyone can understand. That's the process there, and I'm moving away from, I have to make 10 sales today, otherwise my bonus is in jeopardy, or I'm going to get the sack, or whatever it might be. If I do these steps, I'm more likely, because I trust in my ability, I'm more likely to hit my targets consistently over time. My moods don't fluctuate as extreme from high to low. Still going to be, have those nice warm moments when we achieve what we want to achieve, and we're still going to have a little bit of low mood if we don't have a good day that we set out to go, but not the massive extremes, and therefore we're less likely to go into avoidance as a way of coping, or the opposite, overcompensating, burning out. So we're focusing on the journey. What is it that I need to do that's going to help me to get where I want to get? And we can apply this to all aspects of our life. If we slow down, focus on the journey, what does that look like? That allows us to appreciate the destination when we get there, rather than once we arrive, great, what's the next thing that we can go into? And I always talk, it's a little bit like a Kentucky tour. You get to see all these great monuments, but you've got, a couple of hours or a day at most from one place, and then you're into the bus and you're onto the next thing. And you come home and you go, great, I saw the Eiffel Tower and I saw the Colosseum, you saw all these things, but I didn't actually get to experience it. So I've ticked them all off, but I didn't really spend enough time being embedded in the culture and enjoying, a walk around the environment and really getting to experience that. And that's the journey. So that's a nice way of thinking about it. So I hope that's been helpful for you, and I'll be back soon with another video. Thanks, bye.